everybody, look, it's another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi one escapist minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Hal Lublin from Twitter.com/Hal Lublin.
Welcome back, Hal.
Thanks for having me again.
Welcome back to Minute 89 of The Last Jedi. Minute 89 starts off with Finn and Rose listening to Poe's desperate plea, and it ends a minute later with the Falcon emerging from hyperspace and Rey escaping in a pod of some kind.
Rey pod.
It's all coming together now. We're all reuniting at the Star Destroyer. Let's all meet at the Star Destroyer for drinks.
Party at the Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be a fun thing to do, like Dazed and Confused, book smart, kind of like last day of school party movie set in the Star Wars universe. Like maybe, is it like, the Imperial Academy or something like that? Or if it's the Republic, maybe it's, the Alliance Academy, whatever the, Republic Fighter Academy. Have something where the people have a thing. They're after this, we're just going off our separate ways and we're going to have one last blowout, one last night. I guess it's kind of like what the cut stuff from the beginning of Star Wars hinted at a little bit.
Or I was going to say that's the end of Return of the Jedi, basically. Them having a big party in the Ewok village before the rebellion splits up and everyone goes their separate directions.
Let's turn just that last 3 minutes of Jedi into a feature.
Yeah, episode 7 should have been just the Ewok party.
Right, episode 3, oh no, it would be 6, right, yeah, sorry. After 6. I was like, episode 3.14, but that would be after the Revenge of the Sith.
That's the Emperor having a party after the Empire is formed.
Right, just by himself. Him and Darwok.
The re-release of Jedi is more like New Year's Rockin' Eve, where they're like, let's check in with Coruscant and see how the party's going there. They got fireworks. Look at that.
Jenny McCarthy's on Kazook.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx live from Geonosis, checking in.
Oh, for a second when you said that, I thought of Jamie Farr live from Geonosis, and I was like, I want that. I want that. This is complete derailment, but I did just. Have you guys ever seen the
MASH
video for? I hope we can tie it in here somehow. The video that they made for the song Soul Man for the soundtrack from the movie Soul Man.
Oh no!
Starring C. Thomas Howell.
Yeah, the culturally problematic, despite its best intentions, the seriously problematic movie Soul Man. They recorded a new version of the song with it's either Sam or Dave from whoever. One of them had passed away, and then the other one re-recorded the song with Lou Reed. So it's Lou Reed and one of Sam and Dave doing a version of Soul Man. And then the video, for no apparent reason, the video has it has members of the cast of Soul Man, which makes sense. But then it just cuts to Jamie Farr just singing, like lip syncing, like I'm a soul man, and that cuts to the cast of Moonlighting and Gumby, actual Gumby, not Eddie Murphy as Gumby. Like it just goes and it's like, what's going on here? Why is this happening?
That's Ray Parker Jr.'s fault because the Ghostbusters video.
I guess that's got to be
John Candy going like Ghostbusters or like Milton Berle. I don't even remember the lineup of people in that video, but it is like a rare.
Yeah, Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like that, they had David Ogden Stiers in the Ghostbusters video. So like, can we get Jamie Farr?
Right.
I don't know if I don't even know if anybody asked him. We should try.
Go down the MASH list. Stop before you get to Radar.
Loretta Swit is a hard no. She's not doing music videos.
Hot Lips, hard no.
That's my detective novel.
Tonight on Calculon. It's
Hot Lips, hard no.
So the minute opens with Poe and Finn having a conversation over the subspace radio there. And I think it's weird that they can have a real-time conversation in hyperspace.
Yeah, that was my first note. Is hyperspace communication a thing?
As of Rogue One, it was not a thing because they were trying to stop someone on their way, and they're like, it's too late. They're already in hyperspace. Like, we can't reach them via radio, which would seem to make sense because, but I guess it's one of those weird Star Wars physics things that, well, we just sent them a message. It'll take them 3 hours for it to get to them and for them to respond. So we have a little bit of time before the radio can work. But
maybe it's the same technology that they were able to build the ability to track people through hyperspace.
Yeah, like
right. Once they did that, they're like, great. Now we can make calls.
Yeah.
That's called Plot's law. Like if as time goes on, the technology will improve to such a degree that more plots will be able to be accommodated.
Sure.
So yeah,
I thought Plot's law had something to do with Don Martin.
With Ungar plots. Ungar the Plot's law. There's one law. That's mine.
Splorf.
Yeah. Splorf's law.
But then we go to the Falcon. So anything else about Finn and Poe's conversation? Anything there?
I do like the like, oh great, did you find the master code breaker? And he's like, we found a code breaker. Like I do like that. It's slightly modern, but not too earthy.
Yeah.
And it's not played up for too much humor. It's just like it'll work. It's a. I like that line. Work. But yeah, then we get to the
Falcon.
The Falcon. Lovey. Get us to the Falcon. And here's another line that's kind of comedic that I do like is when, Rey's getting ready and she seems somewhat serious and she's like, oh, and if you see Finn, if you talk to Finn before I do, tell him, and then like Chewie suggests something that we don't hear and we don't know.
I love
like,
that.
Yeah, perfect. Tell him that. Like, yeah, it's great. Although then
I speak Wookiee. I know what he said.
Oh boy, what is it?
He said, "What's that?"
Oh, he's still saying that? That was a commercial like 30 years ago on Kazook.
Yeah,
Like
he loves what he loves.
Remember, like, what's it called? Jakku is way out in the middle of nowhere. They're just getting that now for the first time. So
yeah,
that's like, Chewie's playing it to her. He's like, oh, you want me to tell her, like, can you hear me now or something?
I'm gonna tell him I'm the scat man. Skibidi bidi dup ba bo.
That's DJ. It sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, doesn't he say? Maybe it's in the. Oh no, it's in tomorrow's episode. Never mind. We'll get there. We'll get there, Pop.
But
yeah, so we see R2 and Chewie and Rey. So I do like that line though. I do like him saying, "Oh yeah, tell him that. That's good." I like that. It's really funny.
Follow the thread though, and what imagine that does happen, and like how is he gonna, like, Chewie's just gonna like grab Finn and be like, and he's gonna be like, I don't speak that. Like, what are we talking about here? And like, and he's gonna be like maybe like charades it out, like Rey, okay, Rey, what? Rey said, and then like try to get. Was he gonna use C-3PO? Maybe, I guess.
I don't think he's even going to do it. I don't think he's even going to give the message.
No.
He immediately forgot the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I think during that whole scene,
like, oh, Chewie, where's Rey? Did she leave me a message? He's just going to flip him off and go back to
like, oh yeah, she said good luck. Yeah.
Or it'll be like, or he'll be like Eva Mendez's mother and the other guys, where he keeps having to relay increasingly lewd messages between the two of them.
Right, just always going through, yeah. It's like a, it's like Chewie's like an encryption method because nobody else speaks Wookiee, so they can be, he can, if Finn is writing dirty things and giving them to Chewie to tell Rey, then he can just say it out in the middle of everywhere, and Rey be like,
oh, clutching her space pearls.
Right.
You tell him. Yeah.
So when we see R2 and Chewbacca together on the Falcon, it made me think like, oh, I wonder if they've played chess, if they've had a rematch on their chess game. And I think that would have been a better opportunity to
Sorry.
That would have been a better opportunity to show the chessboard than Finn's kind of like, huh? Look, everyone, it's the chessboard back at the, in the last movie. I think if they had saved that nostalgic thing for this part, I thought it would have been a stronger, more organic choice than that. But
they're just sitting there alone. You want to play Dejarik?
again.
Yeah, sure.
I just pictured
Fire it
like
up.
Ray's trying to keep their mind on the mission, and they're like, "Oh yeah, totally. We're not at all thinking about going to play chess right now." You know, like these like gaming nerds I know, half their mind is totally already thinking about what opening they're going to do in the big game.
Right. It's like Chewie, like activate the hyperdrive, and they're sitting in the back with their headsets on. Like, huh? There.
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'll be right there.
1v1 me. Coward. And traitor.
Yeah, we do see the escape pod, which of course, as a fawn of the Falcon's topography.
Fawn of the Falcon's topography.
An enormous fawn of that topography.
Oh.
I'm liking that we're seeing a different part of the Falcon. It was shocking for me because I had the remember that book they came out with the Star Wars cutaways where they would show the ships and the sort of layabout.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the book I have does not match the escape pod. Is in a different place, and it's round in the book that I had. And I was shocked to learn that book was like 23 years old. So I'm like,
wow,
it's nuts.
Wow.
That's something that was from I guess from pre-prequel era. But anyway, yeah, it's round, like sort of like the 10 TV4's escape pod. It's like a tube more so than a coffin. That seems like an enormously claustrophobic escape pod to be in. Especially when you go into space, you're like, oh my god.
If they use it for smuggling, they would probably just tape a face to the window,
right?
Have all the goods underneath.
Like not the person they were looking for, just taped to the front.
Yeah, or a mannequin head, something
right?
Like that.
Yeah, it's like you open it up and there's like it's almost like one of those Star Wars cases, like the C-3PO action figure case where you could open it up and there inside you have.
Right, so the head is just part of the lid.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heck of an escape pod. You think in the escape pod would have room for 2 people in it on the Falcon?
Well, I think they have multiple ones, right?
Yeah, there have to be more. It has to be more than one escape pod, especially that size. Well, even if they had regular escape pods, the original round ones, you probably want 2 of them at least, right?
Well, I wonder if there's some kind of is there like an OSHA of the galaxy where like, well, you have to have at least 6 escape pods, for a ship of this size, and like, how many escape pods do you have before it starts to become untenable? Like, literally half the weight of the ship is just escape pods at some point.
That poster's in the so you never see it.
Oh right, yeah.
We have to hang it somewhere. We'll just put it here in the turlet.
With the first aid for force choking sign.
Yeah. Like, did the Death Star have enough escape pods for all 1 million? And if let's just suppose they're like, we have to evacuate the Death Star and everyone can get off safely, but like, are there enough escape pods for everybody?
Death Star didn't even have, handrails over the.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think they're just like dummy escape pods. Like, they can't actually be ejected. They're just kind of like to trick people into feeling secure that there's real.
It's like the same idea. It's just like you look through the peephole and it's like a little model of an escape pod in there, but then you go to open it. It's like, what?
And yeah, we hear about the Falcon's escape pods way back in the original Star Wars, when the escape pods were jettisoned. Or no, that was the
according to the ship's log.
Yeah, the crew abandoned ship right after takeoff.
That was Captain Kurgi, voiced by Harry Shearer.
Harry Shearer.
That was one of the discoveries of Harry Shearer in that movie. Kurgi. I don't know.
It's fun to imagine all 4, Chewbacca, Han Solo, Obi-Wan, and Luke, and the droids all fitting into one escape pod.
One escape pod. They're all like,
eating goldfish.
If it's anything like the C-3PO case, all you can fit in there at most is 2 Yodas on top of one another, looking like they're trying to sneak into a movie theater to see an R-rated movie. Porky's one ticket we would like.
I think he's 900. You'd think he would be able to get in on his own, but no. He's got to do him and Yaddle have to go on each other's shoulders.
Right.
With a trench coat but also a hat that's oversized, but the ears are making off balance.
Yeah.
Where's this? This has to happen in the Mandalorian. I feel like Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau know what we want as a collective fan base, and this is it.
Have we seen?
We've theorized that they listen to the show, so we try to throw things in there that would influence how Star Wars goes, what we want to see in there.
Have we ever seen two aliens standing on each other's shoulders?
Um,
I feel like pit droids might have done it, but that would make no sense.
I think I think those droids have stood on each other, not to like sneak in anywhere.
Right.
Maybe just to
for comedy purposes.
Reach a top shelf.
I bet there's a setting on those droids. You can say how much slapstick do you want the droids to participate in, and depending on how serious your job is, you can adjust a knob.
Maximum slapstick,
turn down
please.
What's like the going back to MASH for a second, the what is it, slapstick and maudlin switch?
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Why? God, why?
This isn't a war, it's a slaughterhouse.
Right. I also wrote, well, again, so this is the, back, I also wrote Falcon Escape Pods, but I wrote Falcon Escape Pod / Solo, because remember that was the thing, in between the forks on the front of the Falcon in Solo was, I believe, an escape pod. Did you just say that?
I think it was like a shuttle.
Okay.
Right.
So I guess it was slightly bigger than an escape pod. It was like a,
like a launch.
Yeah, like a
little
dinghy.
away ship.
Little dinghy.
Right. Dinghy.
Dinghy.
But then, then I also, this is where I had my note for the overused term plot hole, but the fact that people can just, like, this minute in particular, we've got it's like high traffic area of people just jumping in and out of hyperspace in the midst of the high speed chase.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's extra, like, I don't know. Not that I don't, I hate it I hate saying kind of, turn off your brain, but there's also like, all right, well, if it I'm trying not to let it interfere with the enjoyment of the movie, because there's implausible stuff in not only every Star Wars movie, but in every movie. Like, and it's just like, all right, well, it's whatever. Like, it's, but, so it's, I don't like the turn off your brain attitude, but I also, like, every once in a while I'm like, well, would I enjoy this more if there was, like, if it was a little more, if there was something a little more, make something up to make it a little more plausible for me, plausible deniability or something like that. Like, what's the word for that? Suspension of disbelief, I guess. Like, needs a little strengthening.
Yeah.
But again, it's not enough to take me out of it, but it's just a little bit like, well, can we get something?
You always have to figure out where that lies for you. One of the many movies I've been blessed to see in a theater is the Jean-Claude Van Damme, John Woo collaboration known as Hard Target, in which, during one action sequence, Jean-Claude Van Damme stands on the seat of a moving motor bicycle that nobody's steering, it is his, and fires a gun at people accurately. And my father and I sat and watched this and accepted this as the reality in which we were living for a short time. After that sequence, he visits his family's farm in rural Louisiana in the bayou, and he goes to a crate that has been storing his gun, and he pulls out a perfectly clean silver pump action shotgun. And then we heard the person in front of us turn to his friend and say, yeah, like that shotgun would be clean. My point is, I think we need to figure out, as long as you draw your line in the sand and are willing to stay on that side of it, you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
like
just figuring out where that is.
There's the trivia sections or inconsistencies and goofs section on any IMDb page is fantastic, because you get the people who are like hardcore into whatever aspect. They're like, oh, like he writes the book on this typewriter, but that typewriter wasn't invented for 3 more years, and it's like, like, wow, like, I love that's your world, and like, but it's an interesting thing. Like, did that interfere with your enjoyment of it? I can see it, and I'm not blaming you, but that's a weird thing to hang your
Well,
hat on.
I guess we all have our areas of expertise that we're kind of like familiar with. So if it was something like, say, about running of a comic book store, and they're like, yeah,
Right.
you know, new comics come in every single day, or you know, you're like, that's not the way the comic book store works. You know, it's just if you know it.
Yeah, like
that's,
what was the one the chess one? What was the chess show?
The Queen's Gambit?
Queen's Gambit. Where she like, you know, she went into like the drugstore in the 60s and there were like 90s Marvel comics on the rack or something like that. And everybody I know, like I hadn't seen the show
Mutants.
yet. And yeah, exactly. Everybody I know was just like, oh man, look at this. Like, and I was like, I know exactly that means they just went to like a, you know, one of those wholesalers who's just like, give me, you know, I need to fill this out with, you know, 40 comics. And they're like, great, here's a pack of 40 comics for $20 or whatever.
It's 1962 and she's like, I'll take these cigarettes, these pills, and Spawn number 10.
Right, yeah. I had to look up the Van Damme movie that you mentioned because I'm not a big Van Damme
you're not a big Van Damme
enthusiast, but I had to look up. My father-in-law is not in that movie. He is in the movie called Maximum Risk, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. So I'm like, I know he's in one of them. I don't know which one, and because I've not seen them all.
You're not a Fan Dam?
I'm not. Sadly.
I'll leave.
I should maybe, you know, that could be a podcast. I could work my way through the Van Damme catalog.
The whole Van Damme thing.
Yeah, the whole Van Damme thing.
Yeah,
that's my new show.
I'm sorry I did that to you.
No, it's all right. It could be a goof.
Yeah, it's a lark. It's a lark. It's a lark.
Next thing you know, now Pete is committed to watching 27 different James, Van Damme movies.
Growing a mullet for no reason.
Right. Yeah. At what point would it like not quite Stockholm syndrome, but at some point I feel like I would have to like what would my emotional arc be? Yeah, Brussels syndrome.
I think it would be like, oh, this guy is limber. To oh, he's actually not bad in this. To these, why am I still doing this? To is this a redemption story? Because he had like a comeback.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to. The only maybe one of the few things that I had seen him in was Expendables 2,
right?
Which I loved because he was the whole thing was so ridiculous and he was ridiculous and he knew it and seemed to lean into it. Well, like he was the villain and his character's name was Villain.
Just know that at some point you're gonna have to watch Street Fighter.
Sure.
In which he plays Guile, the American. You know me, I'm from Chicago.
All right. Under consideration as a potential project now. I'm excited.
Add it to the stack.
Yeah.
Well, do we have anything else for minute 89? 89.
89. No. I think that's all. That's all I had.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like, we have some more, we find out what happens to Rey tomorrow in her escape pod adventures. So, will you close out the week with us, Hal, at least?
Yes, I will.
Oh, good.
It'd be wrong not to.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us then for minute 89. And, hey, if you want to talk about Star Wars with some people who also like talking about Star Wars, and you happen to be on Facebook, go to the Star Wars Minute Listener Society. There you'll find a bunch of people, a bunch of friendly people who love talking about Star Wars and
like
are
me.
Willing to, like Pete.
I'm there.
And, he's there sometime. If you ever wanted to say something directly to Pete, go there, call him out,
like
demand he answer your question about a hard target. So do that and join us tomorrow on another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.